There you go, friends. Doc South here, and as many of I know I've said in a number of my videos, a good portion of my young life and even my young adult life, I lived in Chester, New Jersey. Chester, back when I was a kid, was actually Chester nowadays is somewhat it's a richer community. There's quite a few very large homes, estates, although there were estates in Chester when I was a kid too. Really wealthy people. I mean, whoo, it's some real movers and shakers. And even now, I'm sure there are. And there, that's fine. God bless them. They found a way to make some good money. Heck yeah. And and the town kind of actually what was kind of nice about Chester was the rich kids pretty much went to school same as the kids whose parents weren't as rich. We all kind of gathered together. I guess there might have been a few went off to some fancy prep school, but for the most part, everybody was in, Mr. DeFalco's fifth grade, and that's that. It's just how it was, and like that, and but I was thinking, oh, we now, of course, there's all sorts of doctors. Heck, I go for my eye doctor appointments in Chester. Various other doctors in Chester I see. But at one time, like I said, there was one doctor, Dr. Truax. And that would have been in the mid 50s. There was, oh gosh, trying to think of some of them here. Well, now, and that's just one case. There was the grade school, which was a typically perfectly good grade school for that decade, the 50s. Fantastic. I'm sure there were some kids going to prep school, but not too many, but a few. Uh, but the big thing with Chester was there were a lot of farms around. There were cattle farms, there were farms that grew grain, there were farms that grew vegetables. And a friend of mine, uh, a school chum, Joe, his family raised hogs in Chester, yes. A little bit out on North Road if you're consulting your maps. Um, and I think maybe just within the borough. There was a little side road, dirt road that kind of wended through the woods and came upon a clearing after about a third of a mile. And there it was, a barn and all these pens or fields full of hogs. Yeah. And I think some railroad beds here and there. I think there might have been a railroad bed or two. Maybe, maybe not. Um, but I remember I used to, I'd go over to Joe's house after school. He and I would, well, we'd work with the hogs a little bit. Mostly Joe did that and fed them and all that kind of thing. Um, Made sure the electric fence was okay so the hogs wouldn't get out. And, we'd just kind of do our thing. Yeah, it smelled kind of funny, but that's a farm. What are you going to do? And I'm just trying to think. In that in that farm, there they are on the farm. I guess for breeding purposes, they had a boar, a big old hog. Oh my God, this guy was a hog's hog. I'll bet you that. I know if a bear came by and you had a bet on who would win, the boar or the bear, it would be a toss up. It'd have to be an even bet because bears, big as they are and as rough as they are, might not be a match for a boar. I I don't know. I I wouldn't want to see it happen anyway. How would you break them apart? You could get killed. But that boar was Oh my God. And he just, I guess he, like I said, he was used for breeding purposes, not porpoises, breeding purposes. No, I don't think so. Purposes. And so he was often pretty darn tired, after a hard day at work. And he basically all the girls in the in on the yeah all the girls in the hog pens, all the sows, yes, they pretty much, he was their guy. And it was, and there'd be, oh my God, there'd be these little pigs just running around the place. Oh my heavens, they were kind of cute, actually they were. And yes, it smelled kind of funny on that farm, but we noticed, Joe often said, and his dad too, said, you can clean a pig up pretty good. You just got to get some soap and water, and if they'll stand for it, you soap them on down, and darn, they smell as good as any dog ever did. And they were kind of, uh, the family was kind of, uh, they kind of dug hogs, yes. And if you went there to eat, generally, well, you probably have ham or a pork chop or something for supper. Bacon, lots of bacon, and like that. They were good people, good, hardworking farm people. And I think Joe's dad, I think, also worked as a carpenter too. So he went out, do carpentry work, come back, tend to the hogs, and go to bed, get up, and do it again. And that was pretty much the man's life. Decent guy, decent guy. Nice family. I always liked Joe's mom too. I thought she was a very, very nice person. Scottish, yes, Scottish. And but the pigs, yeah, they never really. I think one time they got somehow the electric fence, which by the way is not something that's going to kill them. It just, you get a little zap if you touch it, and you it's okay. I learned my lesson. Uh, and but I think one time the fence broke down, and the pigs and the hogs and the little baby pigs were all kind of walking down the road to the main road, and that was fun trying to get them back. Oh, because no, they didn't want to go back. Of course not. Why would they? They sensed the big city was near at hand. Uh, being that big city being the town of Chester, which I guess to a porker would seem like quite the place to be. All sorts of all sorts of luncheonettes and restaurants and stuff. Heck, a hog could do pretty good in there, in that town. So in any case, so yeah, I remember, yeah, the hog farms. They and then there was other friends had cattle. Some of the kids in my class, and again, our class for the whole town, I don't think much more than 40 people, and that was baby boomers. Yeah, we were all baby boomers. I think there was also families that raised chickens and geese, and then farmers. Again, it was mostly farmers in Chester. I'd say there was a lot of farmers grew crops instead of raising animals, or they did both. They all lived very hard lives. Nice people, though. Very nice people. Just very much into making sure the crop came through, or the livestock grew to useful age. It was a pretty neat time. My father had a soda warehouse, which meant I was popular with just about anyone. Coming over to my house to play meant you got a soda, a free soda, yes, and maybe a 6 pack of Yoo-Hoo to take home. Yeah, it's pretty much how it went over at my place. Or you got to ride around in a soda truck. Nothing wrong with that. Barreling on down the highway with a big old load of carbonated beverage right behind you. Yes, sir. So now it was interesting times. Now there was nothing really hoity-toity about Chester back in the day. It was It's pretty much could have just as well been out in the mountains of Pennsylvania as where it was. Get right down to it. Neat place. Anyway, I'll see you later. God bless, and hope your town's every bit as nice as the one I lived in back many, many now moons ago. See you later, friends. God bless. And dig your town, okay?